Hey there, I'm Trish. I garden in Wisconsin in Zone 5A. I'm somewhat between a rookie and an experienced gardener at this point. Got my handy notes here, but I just wanted to touch base on some of the things that are going on right now, like the fall transition, what's out there, what looks really good, what's kind of looking bad, and what is just downright ugly. Okay, so let's start at the front door. You'll see here I've got a little thing of purple petunias, but I have this key lime tree that is going to be brought inside. I bought it in April or May, and it hasn't had blooms yet this year, but it does like temperatures above 50, and since we're getting into the lower 40s during the day and low 30s, high 20s at night, that'll need to be brought inside. Now just around the corner here are my front containers, aka my greeting garden, and this fall recipe was the echinacea, the purple fountain grass, the hardy mums, and I planted this in September, the first or second week of September, and they've done so well. A few echinaceas are kind of pittering out here, just needing a little bit more water or to be deadheaded, but I really like the fall structure of them, and they're just doing amazing. I will absolutely repeat this recipe again. You'll notice I have pumpkin plants tucked here and there. Unfortunately, they weren't able to reach full maturity size, and I think next year what I'll do is I'll plant them a little bit earlier and be sure to fertilize them heavily the first few months. I recently got this Limelight Hydrangea, and I'm so happy I did. It's really loving this space, the amount of sun that it gets, and it's closer to the house so I can provide it with water easily. The zinnias, foxgloves, snapdragons, salvia, coleus, and heucheras have been my favorite in this thirsty side garden. The plants that don't like me and I don't like are these Macrophylla Hydrangeas. It seemed like no matter where I put them, they wanted to die. They were beautiful up in the front, then they died. I transplanted them in the back, and then they started to die. So finally I cut them back and planted them where they are located now, which is just on the back side of my wood pile. And while they're alive, they are definitely not happy. So I'm gonna stick to limelights until I master them, and then I will transition over to learning more about these really pretty but difficult Macrophylla hydrangeas. Now walking up here to this fresco style garden where I have the newly added raised beds, on the left bottom part of this arch there's grapes. While they did really well when they were originally planted in a container up by the house, they did not like it when I transplanted them in the summer. I've got a bushel of blueberries right here, calendula, nasturtium, baby carrot seedlings, and lavender in that last bed. Here are the peppers, tomatoes. They're still hanging on fairly well, even with the cold. Here's some rosemary, more nasturtium, onion, carrots, cabbage, cauliflower. In this bed, we have the peas, green beans, chives. Definitely have squirrels and stuff digging in here and pulling up these little seedlings. You can see one of the peas already has a little broken neck. Over on the left here are the lettuces, so romaine, butter crunch, spinach, this is what's left of the tomatoes. I did transplant some rutabaga in there to hopefully grow out throughout the winter. More calendula. About a month ago I got this little arborvitae here, but I also got this Pearl Glam Beauty Berry from a nursery. It's proven winners, and it's been chewed on. All of its little shoots and berries were eaten off of it, and So that's something I'm gonna have to address next year, is to have it protected. Here I've got this elderberry black lace that's doing well, and I'm very excited to see it in full maturity. My apple trees still look really great. They're really starting to root in. Here's some lantana that is just thriving. It's pushing out some berries that I'll want to collect so I can grow them from seed next year. Behind it, I recently transplanted my knockout rose, and it's doing so great. It's pushing out new growth, little blooms, so it is much happier back here. There's the Magnolia Tree, and here's another pumpkin plant. This is the Jardale, so it's more of that blue tone, and it's doing pretty well. I'll get a pumpkin out of there. Here's a little patch of Dahlia that decided to bloom really late, so I won't be able to see the flower in full bloom, but I'll save the tuber for next year. Here's another Dahlia that I was able to get some flowers off of. I'm not sure what bugs those are, but it's getting cold, so I'm not going to worry about them. Here's another pumpkin. I believe that one was peanut or hot chocolate. I'll be able to get this white Halloween blend pumpkin. And then right there where that purple leaf was, that's my hibiscus, and that hibiscus is doing really well. I have a Black Beauty squash here, and so I'm finally getting zucchini off of it. I wasn't forever until now. So I'm really happy that I was able to get something from this plant, even if it was really late. Surprisingly, we had some volunteer mums. I think those were from the containers dirt from last year that were dumped back here, and they just lived and decided to volunteer this year. So that wraps it up for my fall tour. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button. It helps YouTube share my videos with others. I do post monthly, so stay up to date with the garden and projects by subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you, and I will see you.